and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to talk about a new program that's going to help our young folks become entrepreneurs. My guest is Jamal Harris. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You do not look like a Chamber of Commerce representative. You're a little young for that, but good
Just
for your job, right?
Yes, great. So as we were talking about earlier, I just kind of got hooked into the Chamber as an intern.
You're a CNU grad 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So I came on as an intern to kind of help assist in some technology shifts. And that turned into a little online counseling, which turned into a couple of face-to-face meetings. And from there, they said, you know, you kind of have a knack for this. Why don't you kind of pick that up and run with it? So after that, we kind of came on, left the Chamber to do some program management in the nonprofit world. And then I came back a year later to help them build this program that we're talking about now, and also provide some small business consulting resources to the Chamber. So
that's great. And, you know, small business and entrepreneurship, I think, is a bigger piece of the economy than it used to be.
Yes, exactly. There's stats out there that are saying as time progresses around 2020, 2024, most businesses will actually be freelance, freestanding businesses outside of, you know, the major businesses that we see today. We really believe that this area does have a small business culture, but it doesn't really have an entrepreneurial culture. An entrepreneur is a person who just takes resources and develops, and then takes resources and develops. And that's what we're really looking to build with this Young Entrepreneurs Academy.
Well, and you know, I interviewed the person who's the head of the technology incubator, and that was one of the things he said. We have to start younger. We have to build this as a culture. And I can see that because, you know, it's scary. The idea of not having a steady paycheck and of being responsible for your own future and of taking risks. Yeah. So you're going to work with young folks. Let's start. And the program is called YEA.
Yep, YEA.
Yay, okay.
Yay. And it's the Young Entrepreneurs Academy. The program started about 8 years ago out of the University of Rochester. The CEO basically said, you know, my daughter wants to start a business, and I feel like she can. It shouldn't be that hard. I've started business before, and I know I can provide her with those resources. And once she started to build out that program with the help of the Kauffman Foundation as well, the program really took off locally, and then they spread it throughout the nation. So there's over 90 chapters of YEA throughout the country, and we brought in to buy it in locally. There's only 3 on Virginia. We're the first in this region, Hampton Roads region, even just west, east. We're the first. So we're really excited about this program and what it can do. It's changed a lot of communities across the nation, where people really see this as an opportunity to kind of revitalize their main streets or make sure that their storefronts are still filled. These students are coming all over the place and creating businesses you would have never thought of.
So when you say students, you're talking about what age range?
Age range, we're talking about, believe it or not, middle school to high school. So this year's national, one of this year's national finalists, they came in number 2, were actually an 11 and 12-year-old. So they were a brother and sister pair who made spices. So, you know, you think like, okay, wow, that's different. But I mean, they're all ages, all ranges, and the businesses they can create really vary, and you never believe it. And is actually reflective of where they come from. So those students were, they moved here from Ireland, and they liked curry. I didn't know Ireland had curry, but they picked up on that. There were other students from tech areas who created boards that generated electricity, like light up shoes. So I mean, it just really varies. And with the amount of technology we have in this area and the resources that we have, I know our students could create just crazy things. I'm really excited to see what they produce.
So how are you going to do this? You've got to reach into the school systems, obviously, is a good resource.
Yes, well, we started talking to the school systems and the school leaders saying, you know, this is a great program that we feel will not only kind of cultivate your students even more, but it'll produce better students in the classroom. There'll be a spillover of ideas, there'll be a spillover of creativity, and these students will just kind of reshape how we do education. So we presented it that way, and we got support from all of our local peninsula school systems, from Pocosa, Hampton, Newport News, York had representatives. We also brought in the colleges, so CNU, Thomas Nelson, ECPI, Hampton. We brought all of these guys into the same talks and said, you know, this program won't won't do well without your support. So they all offer their support, whether it be hosting the site, providing students to
So
help.
the college students are too old to be in the program.
The college
but
students
they
are
can-
too old,
But
but-
they can be resources for the younger students.
Yes, a lot of our local colleges have entrepreneur groups themselves.
gosh.
They have resources and business experts who can serve as our instructors or guest speakers or facilitators for some of the field trips we do and things of that nature. So we're really, it's a community effort.
So, okay, so you find kids who have an idea or just have an entrepreneurial spirit and are going to come up with an idea.
Yes. What we're looking for, we say our target student is the person who has a great idea, who's willing to forge their own path, and who gets really excited about things that pique their interest. Though they may not get excited about everything, right? We really
And
want.
sometimes those are not your traditional A students.
Exactly.
They're on a little bit different path, but that doesn't mean it's not valid and important.
Exactly. And we also are looking for our type A students as well, because we think the partnership between the dreamers in a sense and the executors will really create like a great symbiosis of just ideas and execution, where our students will produce something and learn from each other. So what we're really building this as is something where not only can the students create businesses that can stand after the program, but also create a culture where in this community where everyone can learn from each other and build some great resources and really figure out how to pair some of the things we have going on here in different ways.
So how do you get a kid from a dream or an idea to a product or service that's available on market?
So what we do is we start off by just pulling them in, letting them hash resources and ideas and letting them know what's in the area. From that point, it's a combination of a few things: instruction, field trips, guest speakers, and mentorship. So what that looks like is the program has 3 phases. The first phase is almost like an instructional phase. We have a facilitator come in and manage instruction within the class, but also with that we have guest speakers come in. So the guest speakers might be have expertise in varying areas, whether that's niche marketing, whether that's e-commerce. Maybe we have a business representative from one of the local county clerk's office or city clerk's office.
About how to get a business license.
Exactly.
And some of those basics.
So we'll talk about that. The second phase, we have business mentors come in. So those are people who've been in business, who've built businesses, counseled businesses, and they'll come and help guide the students through a business plan and pitch phase.
And that's where the Chamber of Commerce, I would think, as the host organization is so beneficial, because you've got so many local business people with a wide variety of skills and experience.
Yes, as well. And a lot of the people we're collaborating to help with that phase as well, because the students will be taking field trips. So working with an Alternatives or Peninsula Council for Workforce Development helps us as well, because what that offers is access to companies in a different way, access to students in a different way, where we can kind of really meld the two and find that happy medium where students can kind of go behind the scenes in certain businesses that they never would have seen. Maybe they use these products every day. Maybe they go to these places on the weekends to have fun, but they never really know the business side. So students actually take field trips to these varying places as well to kind of see how the money runs and what does it take to generate a profit, or why do I do things in certain ways as a business owner or a general manager to entice you to come. So they'll be learning about all of those things in that process. And the last phase is the pitch process, which if you think about it, it's kind of like an Apprentice meets Shark Tank meets American Idol, so we're really, it's just really a meld of it, and it's really fun and exciting where investors come and offer to invest in the students based on their belief in the student and the product that they're developing. So it's just really great from that point on. And if students do well enough, they go regional. And then upon regional, they have opportunities to go to national, which is the U.S. Small Business Week. They get to go to there and present. And if they win there, they have a chance to audition at Shark Tank.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's it's a ladder they can climb.
Well, and that's interesting, because one of the things I've heard is that we don't have a lot of investors here. We have ideas, we have entrepreneurs, but we aren't always able to marry the money piece in. And so with your program being tied into a national program, when you have someone who has that great idea, you can get them to the resources maybe outside the market, if that's what it takes.
Exactly. This program is really structured to had to develop those things that might not be readily available here. And with the students, the community support can garner around them to the point where we can spill out elsewhere, right? So maybe we have some young adult spur ups and some in other aspects, or maybe businesses just come and say, hey, or investors come and say, hey, this area has a lot more than I thought to offer. Why don't we pour some resources in here, whether it be the new tech center that's building out around Oyster Point, or the labs we have in Hampton. Or,
right, around the NIA or in any of the
it's so many other ways
office
that
parks and the technology incubator and the HU business incubator. You know, we've got 2 here.
Yeah.
Well, you're really enthusiastic and exciting. You're fired up about this, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I just love seeing things grow. And I work with students through AmeriCorps as well in alternatives, just on a day-to-day basis, mentoring and volunteering. So, I mean, this is a melding of my 2 passions, whether with business and students. So really seeing students build and grow in that area, and also find a way to find themselves. They've said students who were kind of closed and sheltered kind of got hooked in this program and just kind of bloomed. So I'm really waiting to see students bloom. And see some businesses that I want to use.
Well, give me some more examples of businesses. So suppose I'm out there watching this and going, no high school kid or middle school kid can really start a business. What are some examples of
so some
programs
examples
in other
I've seen as far as like things you just might not have thought of are a spaghetti sauce company. So the student said their mom had the best sauce that they knew of, and they felt like it should really be marketable. So they went and followed suit and formalized a recipe to the point where they started producing sauces and selling them not just at the trade show, but in the local markets and farmers markets and things of that nature. There are other businesses where a guy, it'll make you slap your forehead, some of the stuff, where the Staples Easy button, he retweaked that, changed the colors, and changed it into a dog house training tool. So he changed it to Gotta Go. And what happened is the dog, you put a treat on the button and the dog will hit it. And it trains the dog to hit that anytime it has to use the bathroom.
No way.
So you see that and you're just like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So, it's so many ideas, and just the students where they come.
That beats him scratching at the door, doesn't
Yes.
it? Yeah,
So beats scratching the door, whimpering.
Oh my gosh.
And then for some of the business guys, they developed a tie. This year's winners developed a reversible tie. That's still high quality, still nice. And I was at an event last week and I spilled some on my tie. I was trying to get the last scallop and I was like, oh.
Right.
And
There's little things where you have to eat standing up and things spill. Okay.
Yeah, so
what
you do is you just pull a tie through and it's a completely different tie that still matches the similar theme. So, some of these ideas are ideas that we think about and just keep moving, but with the amount of resources that the students have access to, and then, like I said, just varying based on what the students do on a regular basis or their families. Some families have taken on the businesses and kept it running and turned it into a family business where it's kind of generated a new stream of revenue for the family as a whole. It's just so different. And I'm really excited to see how many ways we can kind of loosen up those thoughts about what students can do. And about what we can do and what's here to offer. YEA's big thing nationally is we create students who don't just see an absence, but try to fill that void. So, and that's what I'm all about. If it's not here, let's build it. And it really takes that mental capacity of, hey, this area doesn't have the things that I like. Maybe I should move somewhere else. We really want to work on kind of curbing that brain drain in a sense. Like, why don't you stay here locally? Look at what the colleges have to offer as they work with the different colleges and the different professors. Look what resources in the area. Look what businesses are actually here that you might not know about. As you talked about Tom Flake, we also talked about coming into that Peninsula Technology Incubator and seeing some of the resources they have.
Right.
And how some of the students can use that to develop products. So
the 3D printer and all of those resources that can help you get something to show people.
Exactly.
Which, it's hard to market an idea. You've got to be able to show people what you're doing.
Yeah, and like I said, some of the ideas are a guy created an app called the Bully Box where students can report bullying by taking a picture, almost like Instagram or Facebook or something. So, the ideas really vary. There's really no stream idea. Also, we have social entrepreneurship is a big thing. So students, whether you got the bully box idea or a lady who created a fitness workout for obese younger girls. So it just really varies.
What an amazing array of ideas. I'm so excited about
Yeah,
this. Okay, so we're going to put your website and phone number and how to get more information about this up on the screen, and hope that you reach kids and they sign up. And you're going to come back with a kid who
Yes.
started up a business
Yes.
and tell us how it went maybe in a year or so.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jamal.
Thank you
This is
so much
really
for having me.
exciting. And thank you for watching. I hope you will talk to a young person you know out there and get them involved in beginning to create this culture of entrepreneurship and making their first million before they graduate from high school. Thanks for watching.